Good evening, everyone. My name is Sagala Hester, and I will be talking about critical analysis and revised proposals for early childhood education, proposed policy subtitles, enhancing educational outcomes for young learners. Today, we will dig into an issue that lies at the heart of educational equity and social progress, early childhood education. The formative years are critical for laying the foundation for lifelong learning and success. However, the critical policies fall short in addressing these disparities, leaving many children without access to essential resources. I will analyze these policies, highlight key weaknesses, and propose solutions to create a more equitable and effective system. Let's begin with the overview policy. Early childhood education is a foundation stage that shapes children's cognitive, social, and emotional development. However, current ECE policies are marred by inadequate funding, if insufficient teacher training, and lack of standardized curriculum. This presentation will critically analyze these challenges, proposals, revised policies to enhance educational outcomes for young learners. The key findings for the analyzing inadequate funding in early childhood education, ECE programs specifically impacts children's development by limiting resources and creating a poor interaction. And lack of age-appropriate materials restricts hands-on materials and exploitation opportunities, which are critical for cognition and motor skills development. Additionally, underlying, underfunded programs often fail to maintain a safe and supportive learning environments, expose children to a hazard that can affect these physical well-being and emotional security. Resources constraints heavily impact low-income and marginalized communities, worsen education inequities and hindering development. Addressing these funding disparities is essential to ensure that all children have access to high quality early childhood learning experiences that promotes growth and readiness, readiness for future academic success. Some examples are due to insufficient teacher training, one teacher may limit the training, may struggle to use advanced evidence-based instructional strategies, leading to less effective teaching. For instance, one teacher might use play-based learning effectively, while other remote relies on remote learning, resulting in variable development outcomes. Another one is difficult addressing diversified learning needs. Teachers without proper training and differing instruction may overlook the needs of children with disabilities or those in dual language learners, leading inadequate learning experiences. Improvements of professional development. Professional development equips teachers with up-to-date instructional strategies, enhances their ability to create and engage a practical lesson, enhancing their knowledge of inclusion practices. Training will help educators better support children for diversified cultures, logistics, and ability backgrounds, promote equitable learning outcomes. The lack of the standardized curriculum in early childhood education programs can consist educational quality. This inconsistent harms children to learning and readiness of higher education. It leads to discrepancies in school readiness, lower academic achievement, and reduced graduation rates. Limited access to higher education opportunities follows. Standardized curriculum, cultural response provides equitable learning for all children. For all children. As seen in this graph, 70% of early childhood education programs report inadequate funding as their primary challenge, highlighting a significant issue that significantly impacts the program quality and accessible. This finding underscores the critical needs for increasing the investments in ECE to address resources limited and improve infraction. Additionally, this graph reveals 60% of the programs struggle with insufficient insufficient teacher training, which contributes to inconsistently teaching qualities and limits the implementation advanced based practices. This data also shows 50% programs lack standardized curriculum, creating disparities in learning outcomes and readiness for early childhood education. These trades illustrates the interconnected nature of funding. Teacher preparation, curriculum development emphasizes the needs for comprehensive policy. The data points underscore the need to target intervention to address these challenges and improve the overall quality of early childhood education. The funding challenges, current, current funding models fall allocated sufficient resources for ECE programs. This pie chart shows the ECE receives a small proportion of educational budget compared to primary and secondary education. Limited funding impact the ability of educational materials, facilities, hindering the quality of education. Teacher training. Teacher training is not standardized, leading to variables teacher quality. This comprehensive table demonstrates the correlation between teacher training and student outcome. The highlights are the importance of inadequate training. Inadequate training limits teachers' ability to use effective strategies. This directly impacts the students' learning outcomes. Research suggests that high quality teacher preparation is essential to establish practices that support students' engagement, academic success, and long term growth. Variations in teacher training courses consist in curriculum development. They also affect classroom management, individualized instruction. This highlights the need of a comprehensive preparation. The curriculum standardization. This graph enhances the consistency of education experience across classrooms and schools, ensuring that all students have access to a similar standard of education regardless of their location. Standardization provides a structured approach to curriculum design and delivery. The red percent highlights the inconsistency of learning outcomes where proficient varies with the due to lack of alignment in the curriculum goal. For example, literacy might be prioritized more in some regions while numbers lag behind the leading and disparities. The blue percentage in standardized curriculum demonstrates how consistent and structured curriculum ensures equity in education, promoting high overall achievement in all learning domains. Research emphasized the importance of standardization in minimizing the inadequacies in education. It plays a critical role in supporting the academic success and overall development of all students. Some recommendations. Bar one, increase funding. And showing this high impact of on fraction, 70% models the teacher quality, 50% some learning outcomes, 40%. Bar two, standardizing teacher training, a primary impact teaching qualities 80%, but also improves in fraction of 20% and learning outcomes of 60%. Bar three, standardized curriculum, the greatest effects of learning outcomes consistent with 90%, with relates to improving teacher quality of 40% and infraction of 10%. This approach demonstrates how each recommendation unique combined can contribute to a hostile improvement, while together they address the system consistently. Increasing funding, and locating additional funding to early childhood education programs to address the critical resource gaps. Adequate funding strengthens the schools' infractions, provide the quality learning materials, and comprehensive educators fairly, which directly improves the resource ability and classroom conditions. The standardized teacher training, uh, early childhood education programs rely on both government. Early childhood education programs rely both on government and private funding. Public sources tend to excel in areas like infraction improvement of 90%, inadequate access 90%. Private partnerships are stronger to improve providing funding for inadequate teacher resources and teaching quality improvements. This graph emphasized both approaches for play essential but complementary roles in supporting ECE programs to prioritize outcomes. It's vital to become balanced public and private contributions strategically. Standardized teacher training. A national a national teacher training framework ensures consistent high-quality education. It prepares teachers for challenges promoting uniform training standards. Core elements include subjects in spreading pedagogy and classroom management and technology use. Inclusive, cultural sensitivity, and ability are also vital, such as framework enhance teacher skills and ensure equitable learning for all students. Professional development keeps teachers up to date on critical changes, technology, and best practices. Effective programs are classroom focused collaboration and continuous. Schools with robust development programs show better students' outcomes. This data is a strong link between a teacher development and student outcomes. The standardized curriculum to ensure consistent learning, we recommend creating a comprehensive research-based curriculum for ECE programs. This curriculum should be culturally resistant, inclusion, diversified needs of young learners. This map highlights the elements of standardized curriculum include development appropriate practices. Research shows that age-appropriate learning experiences from this foundation effective learning early childhood education. A developmental appropriate practices which includes play-based learning opportunities to promote cognition development, social emotional skills development through interaction, age-appropriate goals aligns with development of research. The SS framework requires multiple approach, core constant areas, and teacher practices. In conclusion, addressing funding. Teacher training, curriculum standardized is crucial for improving early childhood education outcomes. By implementing these proposals, recommendations, educators can enhance the quality of early childhood education and ensure that all young learners receive a comprehensive and effective education. This is a cornerstone for equitable and success societies. This analysis has highlighted critical policy gaps and proposed equitable recommendations to address these challenges. Now it's up to the policymakers, educators, and stakeholders to work together to ensure that each child, regardless of their background, have access to high quality learning opportunities. Thank you for your attention. I look forward to your questions and insights. Thank you.